Okay, hello. This is in the video series for GH101 in our Computing Bootcamp Basic Concepts and Terms. And for this video, we're talking about Units. These are things that come up in a lot of different parts of talking about computers. All right, so first of all, we will be using some metric abbreviations or SI prefixes. Those are a lot of them. Maybe you haven't seen all of those. We're not going to use all of those. We'll just name off the ones that tend to get used a lot in computer science. Kilo is 1,000. Mega is 1 million. Giga is 1 billion. Tera is 1 trillion. If we look over here on the metric prefixes, we have kilo has a prefix of K, so that's 1,000, mega 1 million, giga 1 billion, tera 1,000. So those go up in powers of 10, 10 to the third, or powers of 1,000, multiples of 1,000. All right, so those are the ones that we'll use that you need to know. And what this means is, so I can ask questions like, let me pause for a second. Okay, I can ask questions on a quiz like how many kilobytes are in 1 megabyte, or how many, let's say, megabytes are in 1 terabyte. All right, if you know, and I'll show you where these potential questions are at some other point. All right, so if we're comparing different sizes of files or disks or the speeds of processors, those are abbreviations we need to know. All right, a bit is one or 0. So bit stands for binary digit. We'll give it its own line here. So a bit is just a 1 or a 0. A digit is 0 or 1 or 2 or 9. Okay, so that's a digit. It's just a number between 0 and 9. A bit is just a number that's 0 or 1. And the reason that that's important is because computers use zeros and ones, which we can discuss in another video. All right, a byte is 8 bits. Okay, so if you have 8 bits, that's 1 byte, and this is normally used in terms of an amount of information. So an example of a byte would be 101010. We'll say 1100. There's 8 zeros and ones. Okay, so that information there is 1 byte of information. I could ask you here, how many bits in 1 kilobyte? Okay, an abbreviation for bit would be B, little b, and an abbreviation for byte would be big B. All right, so if you see kilobytes, kilobits, big B for bytes, little b for bits. Okay, hertz. So these are talking about an amount of information, bits and bytes. Metric prefixes get used for numbers of bytes, but also other things to say how many. And hertz is a measurement of frequency of something. All right, 1 hertz, which is abbreviated like this, is once per second. That's the definition of a hertz. If you have something that's 1 megahertz, that would mean 1 million times per second. Okay, so a question that I could ask is, how many times let's say we have, say you have a 1 gigahertz computer. How many times does something happen per second on that computer? Okay, so the gigahertz is referring to the clock speed of the computer, which we can talk about some other time, but there's something, the clock cycle is happening 1 gigahertz. So giga means, if you go back to your metric abbreviations, giga is billion. So there's something happening 1 billion times per second. Okay? We can give answers to these other ones maybe as well. We'll leave them like this for now. Actually, that's the end. So why don't we say, I'll give you something else. So how much faster is a 3.2 gigahertz computer compared to a, say, 1.6 gigahertz computer? How much larger is a 1 terabit drive than a, say, 15 megabyte drive? All right, why don't we say pause and you figure these things out, and then I'll tell you the answers. All right, you paused. Now I'm going to tell you the answers. How many kilobytes are in 1 megabyte? So to figure this out, 1 kilobyte equals 1,000 bytes. And 1 megabyte is, you put in, instead of a mega, you put a million. All right, so that means that if you divide one by the other, 1 kilobyte, let's see, 1 megabyte then is 1,000 times 1,000 bytes, and that is 1,000 times, there's 1,000 bytes, that's kilobyte. Okay, how many megabytes are in 1 terabyte? 1 megabyte is, I'll put here, I'll say, I'll write it out. All right, so that is 1 million, 1 terabyte, 1 trillion. There's that. So 1 terabyte, you could write that as, these are all in bytes. All right, 1 trillion is just a million times a million, which is, so I have a million, and then I have a million bytes, that's megabytes. All right, how many bits in a kilobyte? 1 kilobyte is 1,000 bytes. How many bits are in 1 byte? So 1 byte is 8 bits. So if we put that back up here, this 1 byte is 8 of those bits. So that's 1,000 times 8 bits. 8,000 bits. Okay, and this, I think I already told you, 1 gigahertz is a billion. So something is happening 1 billion times per second. All right, this one here, we could say 3.2 gigahertz. Let's put in the substitute instead of a giga, that's a billion. So 3.2 billion hertz. So that would be 200 million. So if we use our commas there, I guess I could have used commas up there. All right, that's that. Now, if we put 1.6 gigahertz, we could do the same thing. That's 1.6 billion hertz, which is like this. All right, so how much faster is this one than this one? I would say mean, you could say that it's 1.6 billion hertz faster, 1.6 billion more times per second, but it would be better to say that the 3.2 gigahertz is twice as fast, meaning there are twice as many times per second. The number of things that are happening per second is twice as much on this one. All right, a terabit hard drive. So 1 terabit is trillion. All right, that's 1 trillion bits. 15 megabytes is 15 million bytes. But how many bits is that? That's 8 times 15. Okay, 8 times 15 million bits, which is, well, you have to go and ask somebody what is 8 times, we'll do it over here, 8 times 15, so 120, that's 120 million bits. All right, so how much larger is a terabyte? So it is, we just divide these. 1 divided by that. All right. Okay, that'll be it. So this is stuff that I'm allowed to ask you on a quiz. What is 1,000? What is kilo? What is mega? What is giga? What is tera? And their abbreviations, and the rest.